Hey, what's good, Joe? It's your man, the Bigga P, and I'm here to share my thoughts on the Cotto Canelo PPV from last night. Um, I guess I'll run through the undercard first. The first one was Ronnie Rios versus Jason Velez. Pretty much I thought this was a solid opener and a good showcase between some of our rising prospects at featherweight. Um, pretty much a phone booth type of fight. With Rio straying below the belt one too many times until like the fifth round, where the ref finally took a point from him. But then after that, it seemed to have made Rios a little bit more focused, as now he pretty much, as he pretty much kept his attack above the equator and just punished Velez, who seemed to have just like he did in the Gradovich fight. He started to he started. You could see him starting to fade in the later rounds. Um, and there was no coming back from it. Although he did make a stand, Rios' attack was just too much, and it's a shame that Rios doesn't have a lot of power because some of the shots he was hitting him with were shots that I was thinking to myself like, damn, like if he had just a little bit more power into it, he probably would stop him. So at the end of the fight, I was just waiting for a robbery. I was waiting to hear that okay, Velez got another draw just like he did in the Gradovich fight. So, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised that was not the case. All three judges ruled in favor of Rios. So kudos to Rios on that. I mean, I actually thought he would actually get knocked out as well. As for Velez, I mean, I hope as he lost his loss to zero, that he takes this fight as a lesson to really to correct that mistake. Um, you can't be fading in the championship rounds and thinking that you're gonna get it on the card every single time. So it's real. I mean, hopefully, like see this, this leads to him getting another high profile featherweight fight, maybe even a title shot even. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a very solid opener. The second fight is Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Drian Francisco. This was the last minute addition to this card. Um, as everyone knows, and pretty much everyone who follows boxing knows Rigo's story. It all started pretty much when a couple years ago on HBO that he defeated Nonito Donaire to become the man at 122 and also to take away Donaire's uh, WBO belt to add along with his WBA belt, and it caused a whole lot of trouble because he didn't do it in a way that would build a new star. I mean, he whooped Donaire. I mean, it was clear as day, but he didn't do it in a way that pleased Top Rank or HBO. So combined with that, and then combined with months later, another main event where he put on the similar performance against Joseph Rebecco, and HBO pretty much did not want him on this network anymore. So on the main network. So after a short first round matchup on the McCall card, I think it was on HBO Latino, which Rigo scored a first round KO. It usually showed complete anger. Pretty much that was it. I mean, he had one fight in Japan, which was an actual war, which is something that was completely the opposite of what he showed in his HBO fights. And I remember watching it, I'm like, man, like if Rigo showed this type of firepower, on US TV, he may get another shot. So imagine my surprise that he actually got another shot via Rock Nation, which is continuing its plan of actually trying to sign established fighters and throwing money around. So I'm thinking to myself, Rigo now is 35 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, is he actually going to show out in this card, or is he not going to show out in this card? And he needed to, because like I said, you got to entice someone to go, to get him in the ring with you. Instead, what we got was something of a sparring match. It was 10-round sparring match, and like I said, I like Rigo's skills. Like I mean, he's highly skilled, but Rigo walks the balance between amateur and pro, and not in a good way because he spent a lot of years in the amateur system. His style is very amateur, very safety first. Um, he has killer instinct, but he just refuses to show it. Like if he doesn't need to show it, he will do what he needs to do. Either hold his opponents to single digit connects, which is what he did against Francisco, or he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he's very economical. Basically, on a fight like that, it depends on his opponent. It's not the most pleasant fight to watch. There is a balance. I mean, like I said, there's good technical fighting, but when you have someone who you're clearly that superior to, you try to take them out. You really try to get rid of them. And although the left hand that he had sounded heavy as hell, I mean, it came through my speakers, my home theater, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so apparently he's gonna land, he's gonna set a trap and land this and end this fight. And it was not the case. You could hear the boos in the crowd. Um, it wasn't a pleasant fight to watch, and I felt a little sad because the guy is skilled, but there's no way in hell HBO's gonna let him on his HBO's not gonna let him on his broadcast again. Anytime soon, at least there's gonna be some issues getting him back on his broadcast. I mean, he's back. He won a clear decision. I know Francisco himself, but the fact that he didn't even really hurt Francisco at all bothered me. I mean, Francisco was, I read in a couple of interviews, he was running his mouth saying that he was a runner, blah, blah, this and that. I'm like, if he was running, what the hell were you? I mean, it takes two to tango. Yes. You should have actually, you should have had a better game plan to actually draw him out, But it's one, like I said, it's one of those things. But in this case, I mean, Francisco will probably, like I said, I mean, he'll go back to what he was doing before. Prince Rodrigo will also probably join him. Because, like I said, I can't see HBO want to put him on the broadcast again. And this is a problem. And this is a problem that now Rock Nation will have to just inherit it and see what they're actually going to do with him. So after that fight, we get a reggaeton concert. Now I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this at all. I was not expecting to hear no reggaeton, a halftime thing. Especially after that fight. I just wanted to go on to the next fight. You know what I'm saying? Now reggaeton, now in my clubbing days, so when I was in the clubs, like pretty much one of the set that will make me sit down for a little bit, either get me a drink or go to the bathroom or whatever, was if they just start playing the reggaeton set. I don't like it. I didn't like when I was in the clubs, and I don't like it part of my $69.99 pay-per-view that I'm paying for. It was like 5 songs, man, and it was just like I said, after that fight, I just was not in here. I was moved to hear that, and on top of that, some of the faces on them dancers looked a little strong. You know what I mean? The jaws, man, was a little bit pronounced. Because we're living in a scary age. You just never know. So that was pretty much kind of ruining my buzz a little bit. I mean, pretty much I used that time. Me and one of my boys was just taking shots during the whole thing because it was just a thing to do. I was not expecting that at all, and it was not a welcome. It was not a welcome thing. And I know this is Rock Nation's thing because I know that if you watch any of their cards, that's what they do. They have Fabulous on their initial card, and I think with the War card they had Nipsey Hussle. They do, and that's what they do. I just wish that this was like unannounced too. I mean, yeah, it just came out of nowhere. So I mean, I wish that they just they left that alone. That not everyone wants to. I certainly don't want to have a concert. I don't want to have a concert before or during any of my fights. They could be out, they could be part of the entourage for one of the fighters. You can, walk them out, hype up, hype music, it's whatever. I just don't want to see them. I just don't want to see a concert in between any of this shit. Not at all. Especially reggaeton. I don't want to hear it. But that's enough of that. I've vented enough about that. So after that, we go into our co-main event. We had Takashi Miura defending his 130 belt versus Francisco Vargas. Absolute slugfest. Fight of the year candidate. If you haven't seen this fight, go and see this fight. It was awesome. Like pretty much, I knew we were in for something special when Vargas connected with a right hand in the first round. They had Miura pretty much on, rubbery legs for like the whole minute, for like a full minute and a half. Then Miura takes the control and was pretty much just punishing him with his left hands, coming in that 4th round knockdown, which is vicious. I just sent Vargas into the corner. And then after that, you could see the eye, the eye of Vargas was starting to get worse, and Miro was just honing in, just hitting him with all power shots at all types of angles. And in the eighth round too, he had Vargas again in some serious trouble near the end of the bell, had him doing a little dance. And I'm thinking to myself, this fight, either the doctors is going to end this fight, or Miro's going to end this fight legit. I was wrong on both ends. He came out in the ninth round. Vargas came out inspired. Whatever he found within him, he dug deep and pulled it out, and put up an unbelievable comeback, vicious like 3-punch combination. Sends Miro crash into the canvas. He gets up like didn't even know he won the fight. I mean, dude was out of it, and I'm thinking myself, okay, this fight is gone into some shit, and then Vargas just attacked. Like he just pretty much he found Miro was he was reaching trying to hold, and Vargas was just lacing him over and over again. And here's where the controversial aspect of this fight came in. When Weeks stepped in, just as I thought Miro had actually he absorbed the shot, but he had his legs underneath him and stopped the fight at that point. And I know that's where a lot of people on the internet, on what I've been reading, that's where they're upset at that stoppage. That's where it happened. Um, I don't have a pure problem with that stoppage because Miro didn't do he didn't give the rep any of he didn't do any favors just by getting laced with all these flush shots. Um, but nonetheless, my hats off to both men. Vargas for showing absolute true grit and also keeping his undefeated record after a war like that and picking up a belt, and Miro for showing fighting spirit. And unfortunately, taking an L in his U.S. debut. I hope, give him some proper rest. They can do this again, sometime in the fall, in the spring of next year or something like that. I would love to see the rematch of this fight. So it takes us to the main event, Miguel Cotto versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. Issue with this fight was the big controversy with this fight was the fact with Cotto having to pay $800K step aside fee, which is common in boxing. Step asides happen to Triple G, who was the WBC interim champion since Cotto held the WBC belt. Step aside, let this fight with Canelo take place. On top of the step aside fee, which is you have to pay the sanctioning fee, which is $250 or $300 or whatever it is, because you can't fight for a belt if you don't pay the fee. Cotto was balking at paying the fee because they would be paying like $1.1 million combined. So Cotto was like, after going back and forth with him, didn't want to pay. So Cotto got his WBC belt stripped, which also leaves some legalities going on with the step aside fee, whether or not they actually let him pay or not. But nonetheless, what happened now with this fight is if Canelo wins, obviously, then yes, he gets the WBC belt along with the lineal title that goes along with it. Cotto won, he'd maintain his lineal title, but the WBC belt would be awarded to Triple G. He'd be upgraded as full champion. So in this situation, I was rooting for Canelo because I didn't think it would just get a little bit. To me, it would get a little bit messy if Cotto actually maintained his title, maintained that type of status. Because who knows what he would have done if he did. The fight itself was more competitive than I thought it would be. I thought honestly that Canelo would have won by knockout. Because there were a couple of things in this fight. Canelo was a little bit more. I mean, it was a very tactical fight. It wasn't the war that I was expecting. It wasn't the ending that I was expecting. Cotto showed a jab. Cotto was really on his toes more than I actually usually I'm used to seeing from him. And then, however, he was throwing. Because he was throwing some good combinations. The problem was he couldn't hurt him. Canelo was the bigger fighter, and then Cotto decided. He came in at 153. You're not gonna fight someone like that. And he tried, and then he tried. God willing, he tried, and in the eighth round, he stood his ground. and see if he could actually try to hit him with a left hook or something like that, something to stop him down. Which Canelo took. Canelo was more than happy to return. And between that and then the body shot, you can see the fight slowly start to leave. There was a lot more movement from Cotto. Um, yeah, it pretty much was. But I don't think he didn't try to stand his ground again until the final round, in which now in that fight, he was cut. The scar tissue finally came into play. He was cutting his eyes. He was starting to get a little lumped up. Um, Canelo in this fight, and another thing in this fight is, I mean, because I know there was these rounds were a little bit hard to score in a way, because neither fighter, they were very matched evenly, to the point where you use like with the exception of maybe the 8th and the 12th rounds, where you didn't know, do you give this to Canelo because he had more activity or he was stronger, or do you give it to Cotto who was a little bit more busier? I mean, it was a hard fight to score in that aspect. I mean, pretty much. I mean, myself, I scored at 116, 112 for Canelo, 8-4. I mean, 7-5. I've seen draws, and that's fine. But the scores that were read at the end of the fight, like 118, 110, I think, it were more egregious. 119, 109 was absolute. That's ridiculous. That it was not that one-sided of a fight, at all. Um, yes, the right fighter won, but it's just horrific judging like that. That just absolutely just makes me mad. I just don't like to see. I mean, I know the scorecard has been posted. I have not had a chance to actually look at it. Um, and I'll probably do that shortly after this video. But yeah, it was terrible. I hated those scores. Because pretty much it was just telling me that the job was in. That there was the job was in, and it didn't need anything like that. But nonetheless, my hat's to Canelo. I mean, he's the new middleweight champion. He's the man at middleweight. He's the new middleweight champion of the world. And I guess pretty much now, the fight everyone wants to see is Canelo versus Triple G, which hopefully, without any bullshit, can actually happen in 2016 the right way, as in full weight, 160, all that, traditional. Um, as for Cotto, I mean, I know he has one more fight left on his Rock Nation contract or something like that. So, I mean, I would imagine he's not going to walk away from that until he fulfills that contract and gets the rest of his money. So, we'll see what his moves are. But I mean, I have a feeling that most likely probably 2016 will probably be Cotto's swan song to boxing. So yep, we'll see. So overall, I mean, the pay-per-view was very highly entertaining. Like the only thing that was disappointing was the Rigo fight and the impromptu reggaeton concert. So I mean, I bought pay-per-views this year. This one was pretty much more balanced than the other two that I got. Maybe with Pacquiao and then Triple G Lemieux. So yeah, it was like I said, it's highly entertaining. And like I said, it's the last pay-per-view that I'm buying. So yep, I know we have Fury and Klitschko. They're scheduled. The fight is now this coming weekend, next Saturday, and I think we have a PBC card or a Showtime card or something like that. So yep. Until then, peace.